All right. We are busy today. Oops. I didn't even know that was on there. But we are busy. We are live today, live on all platforms. So welcome back. Welcome to Wednesday night money chat. For us is episode 2. We just kind of go over frauds, protecting your money, going over wins and losses, um, going over a lot of things that are going on as well to help you protect, answer hard wallet questions, things like that. Although that's uh, Cody's more experienced with the Nano Ledger than I am. I really only use it like once a month to transfer my stuff in there.
Yeah, I
Um,
use Ledger Live religiously, even though Ledger has had a lot of FUD with it when it comes to the recovery seed
mhm.
backup. Listen, I ignored all of that. I'm still a Ledger diehard. People talk about Trezor. Trezor doesn't hold a lot of altcoins like Quant or Polkadot. They don't even really have any altcoins.
Exactly. Um, Shout out to Reptile King. What was your day? Busy today? Yeah, it was busy. Went out on a move. Did senior citizen moves today. I was on that team for today. I like to randomly pop in on my crews so to see how to make sure that they're not doing anything funny and making sure they're doing things by policy and by my standards. So it was definitely fun. Moved a lot of old people around in Fort Smith, Arkansas, from one senior home to another. So definitely good. Shout out to Roscoe Youngblood. Glad to have you in. Welcome in. Thanks for being a great supporter. What are your top 4 long-term crypto bags in your opinion? Well, the ones that I'm invested in, that I have money in, is that I have long-term Bitcoin, Ethereum, Quant, and XRP, and I really have 5 because Dot and well 6 Dot and Chainlink are in there really now. But I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Quant as my main 4 that I'll probably never not have in my portfolio unless if there's like a miracle run up. Uh, I think shout out to Cody. Cody, I think he's only counting 3: Ethereum, Quant, and Dot.
Yeah, that's a.
Maybe Chainlink. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cody.
Oh no, I was just saying. Yeah, those are the only three I have.
Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to Steve Blades and Crypto Dream for joining the Patreon. So thanks for joining our Patreon and getting that extra and getting all the extra content that you just can't get on TikTok or YouTube. So really appreciate you guys joining in, and we really appreciate your everyone's support, especially on TikTok. You guys definitely got us to quite a bit of followers there. So hopefully we can keep growing. And shout out to Crypto Dream. He's in here, so welcome back in. Glad to have you in here. So hope you're having a great day as well. Hope work wasn't too crazy for you. Um, so let's see if we can break our live goal. Although Wednesday nights are a little hard, but let's see if we can break the 15,000 mark for 15.1k likes. So let's see if we can get that going in there. As we got a few interesting things to talk about, then we'll open it up to live to chats and everything. So if you want to join in live, you can just hit the guest button on the bottom right on TikTok, or join us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and join in on there. Shout out to Reptile King. How long have you been in crypto and your other business? Well, Cody's been there in there for almost 3 years, right? And I've been in about 2.5 right now. Well, no, it's coming up on really 2 years, right? Oh no, yeah, 2 years. 2 years for me. Going into my third year with crypto. But my businesses, um, 6 years for the moving, 4 years for the logistics, really like 8 months for the construction, and the furniture store that I invested in is like 2 months. I just bought into ownership for the furniture store, and we revamped that one. Unfortunately, we had to. He was overbloated. He had 16 stores, 7 of which were not making any money, which were operating at a 15% loss. So we realized that it was cheaper to pay the exit fee on the leases that he had, move the inventory to profitable stores. And now that we're profitable and we're making, I mean, we dropped about 13% in revenue, but we are now increasing our revenue to operation costs expenses. So like our operation costs are dropping considerably compared in percentage value of what total revenue are. So, but that hopefully that business goes well. I hope we survive this coming recession in the excuse me, in the bull run, or this recession in the economy. But we're here to talk about crypto. Probably the first thing we talk about is protecting your assets and your money. Cody can talk all about the Nano Ledger. I myself, I like Nano Ledger and the Arceus wallet. I like the Arceus wallet for convenience and the fact that it's coming to a point where you can send crypto off your Arceus wallet to someone else's Arceus wallet or phone wallet like Meta or Trust. But I'll let Cody talk about the Nano Ledger and why you should get one.
Oh yeah, Ledger Nano is my go-to wallet because Trezor's a good one, but Trezor's mainly for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like they don't have a lot of altcoins. They don't have Quant. They don't have Polkadot. I
Mhm.
don't know if they're scared of regulation or the SEC or what, but yeah, they don't have any major altcoins at all. Ledger is mainly the hardware wallet that supports a lot of projects. It supports a lot of things, and yeah, I mean, people are scared about Ledger because well, they have the seed background recovery stuff. Well, every hardware wallet company has the same
Mhm.
type of thing as Ledger does. Ledger is the only company that has actually publicly admitted it. Trezor and all these other wallets, they if they wanted to, they could probably have a backdoor. I'm not saying that that's what Ledger has. I'm just saying that Ledger is the only one that's really publicly came out and said, "Look, we have a seed recovery program to where if you don't trust yourself with your seed phrase or keeping up with it, you can pretty much subscribe to this and we can recover your seed phrase, which worries people. I get it. I'm not going to ever subscribe to it either because, I don't really have to worry too much about that. I'm always obsessed with my Ledger. I'm a heavy user. But yeah, Ledger, in my opinion, is the best hardware wallet. If you're more into like Bitcoin and Ethereum, you don't really care about alts, you should get you like a Trezor wallet. But if you're a guy like me who likes ERC20s and altcoins, you should get a Ledger.
Exactly. Shout out to Remy. Welcome in, buddy. Glad to have you in here. Thanks for joining in. Shout out to Rod. What are you drinking? Are you referring to this? Just regular old juice with mixed with water. I always mix it, water it down as far as she goes. So yeah, it's just regular old what's this, orange and pineapple juice. That's what it is. Oh, and mango. Actually, and it's home squeeze because my mother's with my brother and I for this holiday season, and she makes the juice fresh every day. And she puts a little spice, sometimes spices in it, but she makes it fresh every day, which is really cool because I can't do that. I don't have the patience, or I can't get the consistency right either. But she does it really well. Um, but yeah, I really I like Ledger too. I overall I think it's a great great platform. I like the Ledger. Actually, I got the first one, the smaller one, and not realizing that you can't put too much stuff on it, so
The
I
S
had to upgrade. Yeah, so I had to upgrade to the Nano Ledger X. But I'm interested in the
stacks.
touchscreen. Yeah, stacks. I'm interested in that one. I
When
want to
is
get
it
this
gonna
one.
come out?
I don't know. It's just you can take pre-orders right now, but it's not quite out. Let me see. What is it? www.ledger. Is it ledger.com
Yeah.
for it? I'm not too sure. Yeah,
In
ledger.com.
stock soon at $279.
Let's see here. Products. Ledger stacks. In stock soon. Yeah. I would say it's either going to be before this holiday. Um, before the holidays, like before Christmas, or it's going to come out during tax season. They're probably just having a hard time sourcing materials, but I think it's crazy that it can pair and work off your phone. So I think that's cool. But I wonder if it's going to have an SD card like EliPal does. But $279, I think they give you free shipping. We might do an unbox. I'll probably do an unbox of this one when I get it. Actually, they don't look like they're taking pre-orders anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna sign up for that. Let me sign up for that. Here we go. All right, because as soon as that comes in, I'm buying one. Um, Shout out to Rod. I'd be juicing too. LOL. Yeah,
Yo, what up,
it's
Crypto
definitely
Dream?
different. Yeah.
Crypto Dream
Oh
says,
yeah,
"Where do I
crypto
find it
dream.
in the Patreon? $3 a month is a steal. I really appreciate you."
Absolutely. I sent it in the message. It's also in one of the first early posts too. I guess I might have to repost the Discord link in there
Sorry
again.
about that, Crypto Dream. Some of our comments that pop up on Restream, it shows up later.
There we go.
Yo, face red, heart
Oh,
shape.
yeah. Okay, there we go. Well, glad to have you in there. He's also one of our great moderators. Glad to have you guys in here. So, I mean, the Ellie Pal one is also a really good one too. Um, definitely, I definitely want to do a review on that one, but I haven't used any of their products. But I like the fact that the Ellie Pal one has a what you call it. It can be truly offline with the SD card in there. So I wonder if Stacks has the same feature. So yeah. So here's the Stacks one. Just kind of quickly show you in comparison to how big it is. But that would have to make it so much easier. I mean, than having to go to your computer, do everything, and you know, I definitely like this a little better. That way, let the less interfaces you have to use, the better. And I like the fact that it looks cool and sleek. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite there. Um, Shout out to System 31. Welcome in, buddy. Glad to have you in here. How is stock trading? Well, my stock accounts are just going down like crazy. Oh, there he is. Stock the my accounts has been going down like crazy. I think what if it wasn't for my influx of buys yesterday and on Monday, like I'm down technically about 9%. Yeah, I'm down 9% on my stocks. But I bought more Bank of America, bought more NLY, bought more ORC, bought more Porch Moving Group, bought more HCA, and I bought 3 more shares of BlackRock.
How much? What's BlackRock sitting at?
BlackRock is sitting at I think like six in the mid 600s. Let me check for you guys. Shout out to System 32. Do you think aliens are real? Absolutely. They're definitely real. Oh, it's sitting at 680.
I think Angel too.
They definitely are. And
I
I'm
don't care
sure.
what
No, go ahead, Cody.
I don't care what people say. Like, you mean to tell me we have 8 billion people in this world? The world is designed the way it is. I believe in God, like I do, but at the same time, I believe in aliens. I believe that we have some sort of different type of species living in our solar system. There's just no way, like, there's no way in hell that you can prove that there's not. Like, it's just logic to me. Like, aliens to me have never been like they say in movies, but aliens are definitely real. They're real.
Yeah, they're definitely real. And there's documents, even though a lot of it's blacked out right now, but there's documents that were released about a summit with a lot of world other nations with aliens apparently.
Did
So
you
it
know
was,
that aliens do not look like what they're shown on movies? Aliens are actually a lot. They're pretty much just like a regular human. Aliens are pretty much like a regular person, but it's like they might have a bigger head, or there's some features on them that are over exaggerated. But I don't see them as like green characters in movies and stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're probably going to actually they're probably be more like Star Trek, to be honest.
Yeah,
Probably
but
more like Star Trek. But shout out to Crypto Dream. So you don't think anything of the BlackRock $2.5 million fine? That's like fining an average person 10 cents. It's
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 like it's like
relatively. Oh, go ahead, Cody.
It's like the people talking about the Ethereum Foundation selling $2 million of ETH. I'm like, oh my god, $2 million of ETH. The markets are so affected. It's like,
Yeah, it's just overbought news. But BlackRock is down. Today it's down 0.5%. Down $4. So I'll probably be taking some L's on BlackRock for the next year or two. But I have a feeling when the economy turns around, BlackRock will turn around as well. Welcome in El Ginty. Glad to have you in here. Shout out to System 31. Do you like Costco stock? I do like Costco. I'm actually thinking about adding it to my portfolio because they do pay good dividends. Let's pull up that Costco. Oops. There we go.
I don't think I've ever been to Costco.
No, they're actually opening one up in this area.
Are
In
they?
so, hmm
I'm surprised the Waltons aren't trying to like block that.
well, you can't really tell them not to build on their own land. That kind of defeats the rights of freedom to do what you want. But it's going to be in Rogers, is where it's going to be. Rogers, Arkansas. Costco. I like the dividend yield on it, but I like the business overall because they're they're proving that hey, we can operate by not raising the staples. So they only raised the rotisserie chicken to $3.99 with the membership. They still have the $1.50 hot dogs, the $3 two slices and a drink combo, the $2.50 burger, fries, and a drink. So they still have all those traditional combos that they started in the '80s. I think that's going to win over the hearts of consumers and it's going to pull more revenue towards them, and they're going to end up making a profit in the long term. Shout out to Robert K. Welcome in. Glad to have you on the stream. What are you trading? Well, I really don't trade per se, although I'm probably looking at CarMax and Carvana if I'm going to short or do a quick trade on it. Most likely going to short those stocks because the car industry is going to collapse in the next couple months. But I'm mostly buying and holding for long term. My portfolio on my stocks. If you haven't joined us on the Sunday streams where we do what's in your portfolio, right now on stocks, I have Bank of America, NLY, Walmart, Coinbase, Healthcare Association, BlackRock, AT&T, AT&T Mobility, uh, Apple, Microsoft, Porch Moving Group, and ORC. ORC and NLY are mortgage lending companies and security sellers. So what they do is they merge all the loans together and then sell off the securities. Um, and I'm also going to be probably dropping about half my stock of Microsoft because I've had Microsoft since 2010 in my portfolio, and I think I maxed out the gains as I can, and I'm going to take some of that money and put it towards something else. Okay, there you are, Cody.
The
Uh,
audio is like glitching really bad for me.
oh, is it?
Even after closing the app, it's like something's going on. I don't know.
Hey, well, guys, let me know if the audio sounds funny on my end because it might be my mic or anything. um, Shout out to Crypto Dream. How much does Bill Gates own of Microsoft? I still think he has a majority ownership of it, or the largest. He's the largest shareholder of it still, but um, he. I think he's still on his way out. I don't think anyone's really listening to him. The guy they have in charge right now as the CEO is definitely doing a good job.
Wait, Bill. Okay, okay. He says audio is good on YouTuber. So Bill Gates is like the largest shareholder of Microsoft, right?
Yes, I think Bill Gates owns.
So what's his role in the company right now?
Oh, he got kicked out of the shareholder, and after his divorce and the what happened with Epstein, he got kicked out of both the board and running the company.
How was he involved with Epstein?
He was he was just a little too close for comfort, I guess. There's a lot of pictures of him at that private island with Epstein and the other lady. So
So
he
that's what
wasn't
got him kicked
convicted.
out.
Yeah, they just did it. Once you lose favor, they just want you out. Like that's the bad thing about taking your company public is that at some point you can be kicked out of your own company.
Yeah, that's what happened to Bill Gates.
Yeah, that's pretty much out of there. Well, technically, right now, Bill Gates owns 1% of Microsoft. However, a lot of his shares are technically in that Melinda and Bill and Melinda Gates charity. So he's still in ownership of it. Yeah, all together he had at 1.49% ownership of Microsoft. And over the last 10 years it's been divesting, but he still technically owns it because his charity owns the rest. So it's not like
Wait,
he doesn't own it anymore.
can you hear me?
Hold, yeah, I can hear you, Cody. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I was going to say is I did a Googling. It said Microsoft Corporation board members decided that Bill Gates needed to step down from its board in 2020 as they pursued an investigation into the billionaire's prior romantic relationship with a female Microsoft employee that was deemed inappropriate.
Yeah, that was the official reason. That female employee was his wife.
Really?
Yeah, she started at Microsoft, and that's how they met. Um, that's how they really met. But that was their out at getting him out of the company. But the real reason was because of the debacle on there. Because he went on like after he was arrested and self deleted himself. He was on a lot of interviews about people talking about it. Let me get to some of these guys commenting because you guys are definitely coming in heavy. Shout out to Robert K. Why do you say that? I'm not sure when that was sent. If you could just add more to it. I guess maybe it's is the car industry really going down? And shout out to Decatman. Welcome back in. Glad to have you in here, buddy. Thanks for joining in on us live. Um, uh, the car industry is going down because the loans are no longer sustainable and banks aren't lending money to people to buy these trucks and cars at the prices that dealerships want to sell them at. And with student loans now kicking back in, now you have a choice. You have your rent or mortgage, your car note, and then your student loans. And your student loans, you can't bankruptcy out. So now you got to put money into. You either got to not pay your car, or pay your student loans, or not pay your student loans and then pay your car. But at the same time, a lot of the cars that are heading back. I mean, we're talking Chargers, F-150s, Ford, the Mustangs, the Camaros, the Challengers, the Chargers, Corvettes are even coming back in droves. Like the Corvettes have been just hit, like the C8 have been coming back. Like the ones that went out in 2008 are coming back now. And I even see them on Facebook Market where it's like there people are trying to have the someone take over their loan payments, which is just astronomical. I even got someone reached out to me on Facebook asking if I could take over their Corvette payments for them and take the car off their hands because it was like $1,800 a month. I was like, that's outrageous. Like my M4 isn't even going to be that much. Like my
Why
M4,
the
I'm
hell would they get
only be like
themselves in that?
$600. I'm sorry, Cody.
I said, why the hell would somebody get themselves in that?
Uh, just because they wanted to flex. That's it. Just for the flexing. That really is it. Shout
Crazy.
out to Crypto Dream. Thanks for supporting the stream, and thank you for being such a great moderator. Glad to have you in here. Um, it's just that it's just that everybody wanted the fancy challenge. Like the challenges, the new ones do look nice. The new style Corvettes do look nice. The I'm not even a Dodge fan. I could even say like the Dodge Charger looks nice, and everybody wanted a Shelby Mustang. You had all this time, you had all this ability to search on the internet, and surprisingly, of the cars that are starting to come back the most, it's the Mach E because people overbought the vehicle and now they can't afford the payments and now it's getting sent back. And
Which
now that
one?
I'm sorry,
The electric one?
yes, the Mach E, the Mustang Mach E is starting to come back at higher rates because people can't afford to make the repair payments or the maintenance payments on taking it to the dealership or wherever to get those payments done. Or maintenance done, and now now with the free money gone, you can't just say, "Oh, my car needs maintenance. Let me just give it away and switch the negative equity into a new car and pay no money down." Now banks are saying, "Hey, buddy, I know you got 800 credit score, but you got a lot of negative equity. I'm going to need to see about 15 grand so you can get into your new car." And so what people are doing is just saying, whatever, I can't afford the maintenance, I can't afford the payment anymore. So they're now leaving the cars in the driveway with the keys in it, letting the repo man just take it back or letting it get stolen. Either way. So that's where we're kind of headed with the car mart. And with all those loans compiling and defaulting, I'm already seeing dealerships in this area starting to go bust. It starts with the little guys, the little mom and pop used car lots, or the small business used car lots. I'm starting to see them go bust. I'm starting to see them fly out of here. There was one that was there since I've been here for about almost 11 years here, and he's gone. And his
Crazy.
shut up. Yeah, it shut out. I'm sorry, not 11 years, 10 years. But I think he's been there for like 20 years. So he's been in business for 20 years, and he closed down like maybe a month or two ago. And I'm seeing car marts are starting to look a little thin. The buy here, pay here's aren't looking so great, but they're still busy. But the dealership lots, man, it's just over for them. It's like they're thinning out so much, and it's not because they can't get cars anymore. It's because nobody's buying, and they can't sell what they have. They can't recollateralize their floor loans, so they're getting their cars repossessed. So it's starting to cascade, and once it cascades all the way through, CarMax and Carvana are going to be the biggest bankruptcies within the next year, followed by the auto manufacturers, probably Ford. Ford's probably the next one after those two to go bankrupt on there. And but for us, if you're looking to get a new car, it's going to be good because you can go to the auction. All you have to do is spend about $100, register business, get an off like a just show that you have a spot with an office and a filing cabinet, and you can have a dealership. And you can go right to the auction site and buy yourself a new car. And some of them are looking pretty good. Like I saw one, I was like, dang! It's like there was a 2000 a 21 Mustang fully optioned out. just sitting there, and it shows that's been at the auction for 3 weeks. So a lot of F-150 pickup trucks, 250s, uh, Ram 3500s, 2500s. I'm starting to see box trucks at the auctions, work trucks, work vans. So I can already tell you, small businesses are shuttering their doors, and if they're shuttering, they're not spending as much, which means they're not even paying people or their taxes. So you're going to start to see a shrinkage of everyone's local economies, and that's going to be the downward trend, and then we'll finally hit the bottom of this recession, and we can start to go upward. But let's get back to crypto a little bit. There's a lot of news with XRP, or not XRP, I'm sorry, FTX. Shout out to D, welcome in. I might can get my Range Rover now. Yeah, you can get that Range Rover for like 70% off now because the buyers, like, the auctions used to have like a couple hundred dealerships. I went there last Wednesday. There was only 40 dealerships. It was like a really, really, really slow day. So it's getting close to that time where you can start to get those good prices on cars like that. But just remember, when you buy like a Range Rover, it most likely, if they couldn't afford the car, they couldn't afford the maintenance cost. So it's going to have probably about $5,000 to $6,000 worth of maintenance. So make sure you plan that in when you're auctioning, trying to win that auction for that vehicle. But back to the FTX case. Over the next several months, they're going to be liquidating assets from Alameda Research and FTX's assets, which is about 100 to $200 million worth of crypto per month that they're going to be liquidating. One, because they got to cover the cost of the bankruptcy trustees and all that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really the lawyers that are going to make the most money out of this, both on the criminal and civil case. All right, shout out to you guys. We're at 3.3K likes. Hopefully, we keep this train going. But really appreciate everyone coming in. Let me know if you've been a victim of the FTX case, the FTX scandal. If you had your money locked up on FTX, or tell me how you feel. What's being resolved with it? What are the emails you get? You don't have to go into details of how much money you lost, but you can tell me. You can come in and chime in and see how much it's affected you. What was your opinion? Why did you get in it? What allured you over to using the platform? Things like that. Although Cody was just talking about before we started this that the FTX US brokerage might be restarted and sold off to another company to restart, because it is actually a legitimate business and can make money. It's just a matter of, will people trust the platform again? And I don't know, where did you see that article, Cody?
Which article on Bill Gates?
No, on FTX, the U.S. brokerage firm
Let me
restarting.
pull that up.
And I'm just gonna go back through, make sure I didn't miss anyone. Great, didn't miss anyone. So glad to have you guys in
I
here. So
texted you the link.
okay. Oh, so on Coin Market Cap. Okay, let's go to Coin Market Cap. Oh man. Okay. Alrighty. Since it's on my phone, let me see if I can. Is there a new section down here? Or is it just? Oh nope. Yep, no news. Okay, I might have to type it in here, so bear with me, guys. Maybe I can just put it in Google. FTX relaunch. There it is. Here it is. Oh, it's also on Bloomberg. Okay. Oops, let me go back. Okay, there we go. There it is. All right. Shout out to Yakloin. Glad to have you in here. Short Ford, maybe. Yeah, that's probably a good short. They're definitely going to be highly affected by the strike, the UAW strike. But yep, let me share this tab here. FTX mulls reboot proposals from bidders. So there's three active bidders right now. I don't know if it's saying who they are. Three active bidders, but 75 total bidders on the FTX exchange and rebooting it. I'm sorry. I thought it was 1 million per month. It's 1 million per week of liquidation of crypto assets to cover client losses. Um, and so far they have recovered 7 billion to repay to creditors. Roughly 3.4 billion of that is in crypto. Oh, that's good news. So we got a decent chunk back, but I think the total was what? Was it $30 billion? Um, I think it was a total of $30 billion was spent. But I know he spent close to 4 or 5 billion just on paying those sponsors for everything. Shout out to Jamie Jamie D. Riskroll. Hope I got that right. Thanks for joining in. Glad to have you in here. I'm amazed by your knowledge of investing. Off and on, I've tried to learn investing. I'm not dumb either. I'm an RN, but can't grasp it. No, you're with 99% of people. The only difference is that now I was in the same boat as you. I mean, we all come into this world pooping ourselves and crying. So we all start off the same. But the only difference is that my parents just talked about it while I was growing up, and we continue to talk about it. So as much as people join in, as much as people have family dinners to talk about their day, we talked about how we're going to save money. I could tell I could remember in great detail my dad going to every car lot and telling me how I should buy a car, what I should look for, how much I should borrow, how much I should put down, and telling me what I had to do to help me build my credit score and everything up to get it there. So I would say I was very fortunate, but it's okay, Jamie. If you don't know, I mean, we can only be experienced in oh so much in our world. I just happen to be experienced in finance, and I was also a licensed Series 7 broker. So I was just a trader. I wasn't a financial advisor, but I was a trader for various funds and private banking. Um, I had a natural liking towards it. And I did economics and finance in college as my major, and then mathematics as my minor. So this is just something I like to talk about. But a lot of people don't really focus or talk about it. It's just kind of in the ether, as you sort of say. So, and people don't really pay attention to this until it's, of course, too late. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're learning, and I hope that you can start your financial journey with some sort of great success. And thanks for joining in on the live, and we really appreciate that. And shout out, kids need more education in finance. Absolutely. I don't know why they did away with writing checks, balancing a checkbook, balancing a budget, um, understanding bank accounts, understanding finance. I mean, the best class I actually took about finance was when I was in high school. We had the the last health class we had, or it was kind of like a business class slash sex ed class. We did what's called uh, a marriage course. So what happened was everybody paired up in the class, and then you kind of had to pick a job, and you'd have to see what income was assigned to that job, and then you have to plan out your life. What could you afford? How much you could save? How much you could do? You could save towards a house. What can you afford? What you couldn't afford? I think that put us in a better position overall with everything, and just my age group in general. And and they factored in the cost of kids. So I think that program needs to be brought back. I don't know why they ever did away with it. Shout out to El Ginty. Welcome in. Glad to have you in here, buddy. The government controls the curriculum. Kind of. I mean, they can set the standards, but your local school districts and whoever you vote for the school council has control over it. I believe, from what because my dad was a teacher for 42 years, and that's what he said. Uh, Shout out to Crypto Dream. 5K likes yet? Yeah, we just crossed it. Thank you guys. I do see you guys really chiming in there, but yeah, we're almost there to open up to open forum. Keep in mind, there's also there's going to be more news about the FTX case coming out in the next couple days on Thursday, or no, tomorrow. I'm sorry. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, because tomorrow, excuse me, tomorrow we have. Oh, excuse me. Didn't need to clear my throat. Tomorrow we have more testimony from SBF, and it's looking like they're gonna. This is probably gonna nail him to the cross, pretty much, for what he's done and what he's stolen. So we're gonna see how much he denies or what he admits to. Yeah, I know this is gonna be a long case. Just to keep you guys in mind. This is going to take years to get resolved, but I do think he's going to go away for probably the rest of his life at that. But that's really all that there is else going on. I mean, they're starting to liquidate assets, recover funds. Um, there's a lot of people trying to distance themselves from them, both politically and um, in the business world. Going over to Caesar, going over to this Pina and Envy debacle. It seems like this is an open shut case to me. I mean, he basically went on live yesterday, or yeah, last night, basically dissing everyone that he stole money from, telling everyone that's calling him out that they're losers, and that he's going to be out here in no time. He's going to be free again, and he's going to be getting all his money back. And it's like, meanwhile, he's saying it in a house that's being foreclosed on. So just keep that in mind. I mean, they pretty much got them dead to rights, especially since it's two minorities doing this. Oh, they're going to get them. They are going to get them. I hate to say it, but they're probably going to throw the book at these guys, and I wouldn't be surprised
I hope
if.
so.
Yeah, I really hope so, because they've ruined a lot of people financially. They just ruined a lot of them financially. Um, I mean, there are people. I mean, there was like a shout out to Tony the closer, because he had a live with like all the victims coming on one by one, and it was heartbreaking, because these weren't like middle management people who are making like $500,000-600,000 a year, where it sucks. They'll recover some of their money back, but they'll get back to where they were eventually. These were hardworking blue collar Americans that had their life savings stripped from them, and now their marriages are on their line. They're stressed. I mean, and we're going into a recession, and these people have no money. Shout out to Wally Newbig. I'm sorry, keep getting that wrong. What's good, buddy? Glad you're in here. Hope all is well. Yeah, I hope all is well as to you. Welcome back in. Glad to have you in here on the stream. Hope you had a wonderful day chasing that bag. Hope you enjoy the rest of the stream, because we're about ready to open it up for Q&A and everything. But I also want to say, they're kind of slinging shots back at each other because DJ Envy's plea deal was revoked, and Caesar is calling out DJ's false claims of being innocent and him taking his money. So that was the most ghetto live I've ever saw, and he took his live down on Instagram, but it's also people recorded it, so it's all over the internet now. Shout out to Reptile King. Uh, will you be on tomorrow live? Yes, we'll be on tomorrow morning. There is no evening live yet, but I will probably do. I'm probably going to make Tuesday or Thursday the um the Patreon live where I get on live with you guys for an hour and you can ask me real in depth questions about my business, about how did I get funding, how did I pay off my debts? How did I get started? How I did a lot of things, and that's probably gonna be the same time, 6 o'clock tomorrow. I'm probably gonna start that tomorrow for everyone in Patreon. And if you have a rough financial situation, I can help you kind of go through it. I'm still trying to bring on my financial advisor for those. Um, because he can't come in on the Sunday lives on the main live where we got tons of people watching, but he can come on. He might be able to come on where it's just like maybe like 10 or 12 people coming on, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see if he can get approval. Um, but there's also a lot of good. I'm gonna try and bring in like a guest every day. What time and channel again on Patreon? Very interested in all of it. Shout out to Wally Newbig. It's going to be on Patreon, 6 p.m. Central Time. I will definitely be on 6 p.m. or no later than 6:30. And you just got to sign up for the Patreon, and you can join the lives because it'll be subscribers only on there. And that way I can keep it small because some of the professionals, we have to keep it small. Like financial advisors, the group has to be no less than 25 on average. So we'll have to see here. Shout Wally, yeah, you're in the Patreon, and yeah, it's I've been putting the videos on it. I know I've been out for about a couple months because we had a real busy August and like September. So, but now I have more time. We're back at it with the videos, and I'm gonna put more exclusive content on there. Not just the interviews that I've done, but I'm gonna put more overall content on there, like really deep dive. Because I do an explanation of my portfolio for you guys on Sunday, but I'll do real deep dive, like monthly deep dives for you guys on my portfolios, on my real estate, stocks, crypto, everything, I'm adjusting, how much money I lost because I seem to be catching as many L's as the New York Giants right now. Other than the last couple of days in crypto, I got a few wins back, got a few back in there. But we're gonna open up to the floor for you guys. So I'm gonna put that link in there if you guys want to join in. Speak your comments. Let me know if you and definitely let me know if you had a family member, friend, or yourself had gotten wrapped up in one of these financial schemes and how'd you get out of it? What you're feeling about it. It's definitely good to talk through some of your losses because then you can see what led you to that route, and it's not as embarrassing. We all have been affected by those. So, but if you don't have to share, but we can also talk about whatever you guys want. It's open forum. So I'm gonna put the link in to join in on the chat on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. If you guys want to cam up and join us live, or if you guys or you can just hit the guest button here and you can come on live on the bottom left for TikTok. Also, we are also going to what is it? We're also anyone who joins the Patreon, you get a link to Discord. I'm going to get back active into it every day. And we're just kind of talking about everything that's going on and really
Yeah.
sharing our conversations.
My issues right now are how just like society thinks in general. Like, for example, like you could talk to a girl, right, and everything's going good. You say you don't go to college, that's a bad thing. And nowadays girls are walking around with these attitudes like, men are too lazy to go to college, or oh, women are graduating more, and we're the real breadwinners and stuff like that. And just how society treats men that don't go the traditional path. I'm not talking down on college. I'm not talking down on the traditional path, but it seems like it's like when you try to think out of the box and when you kind of go your own way as a man, it's like you're really judged for going your own way nowadays. It's crazy. It's almost like you have a path financially and you start going your own way. People will make you feel uncomfortable. People will start asking you questions. And on top of that, people are going to be jerks about it up until you make it happen. It's like my issue is I've seen a lot of hypocrisy in
Mhm.
society. You know, when you're rich and you come around and you start talking about your wins and all that, society tries to tell you to be humble, and they try to say, oh, they try to be passive. They're like, oh, at least I don't, money isn't everything. But yet, if you're a kid, like me, and you're working a retail job and you're not in college and you're not making a lot of money, people will judge you for that and be like, oh, you're a loser. It's like, I don't want you dating my daughter. Well, it's like, I thought money wasn't everything, right? I thought love and family meant everything. If love and family meant everything, how come you're judging me for working at Walmart? If love and family meant everything, how come your daughter doesn't want me because I'm not in college? It's like there's a lot of hypocrisy in society that I just want to talk about because it just makes me laugh. People are hypocrites and they don't even know it.
Yep. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but real quick to respond to that, shout out to band TikTok. That's a great username. Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that. Shout out to Yakloin. Work on yourself first. Avoid contract relationships. Yeah, uh, I could tell you this from having so many employees that the worst thing that happens to a lot of young men is you get into these relationships, you let your hormones run crazy, you have kids out of wedlock, and then before you know it, you're getting child support out of your check. It's causing the family court's causing you problems. You can't even see your kids as much as you want. You got to work even more because they're taking money directly out of you and putting it away. You don't want to be in that situation. I mean, every Monday I got to go through tons of child support letters, and for people that they're adamant, like I don't owe child support. I don't owe anything from Arkansas. It's like, well, this one's not from Arkansas. This was from Oklahoma, and they get quiet because it's like, look, they follow you. Like I'm above table with everything I do, and all my taxes are paid. I report everything. But when I file my monthly payroll taxes, I'm filing your taxes too. So the family court's going to pick up that you're working here, and then they're going to start chasing you down for that money. And some of it, it's like they owe $17,000, so I got to take like their entire check for their back owed, and then we put them on a payment plan. It's ridiculous. I mean, family court is vicious. If you can, like shout out to that one YouTuber, Coach Greg Adams. Like, he always keeps saying protect your meat, and not just your physical loins, but your money, your energy, your attention, and your time. Like you gotta protect yourself, especially nowadays. Like it wasn't what it was like 20 years ago. Even when I was like in my 20, when I was just turned 20, it was pretty simple. I like you, you like me. We'll go out on a date. We'll see if you like each other a little bit more, and then maybe a relationship starts. It's not even like that now. Now it's like you guys are just cutting right to the chase and avoiding all the other parts of the dating process, and then now we're left with this debacle. And of course, the state's got to get involved, the courts got to get involved, more taxes got to get risen, and both the woman and the man suffer in that relationship because I never see it work out for either buddy. I got an ex that had a kid out of wedlock with the guy after me, and her life just went to shit. Um, Lost her $100,000 a year job because she couldn't keep up with it because she was a single parent now. He didn't want nothing to do with the child, so he just absconded off to oblivion. And now she has a decent job. She works for the state police, Not in Arkansas. She's nowhere near here. She's several thousand miles away. Um, but she's in a northern state, and I think she makes about $38,000 a year, but she's not living the life she wanted. And I know her enough that I know she's very depressed about it. You don't want to be in that situation, ladies. You don't want to be in that situation. If there are any ladies, to the all two or three of you that are in here watching, you don't want to be in that position. Guys, if you're young, you definitely don't want to be in that position. I understand when you get older, you get to my age, you might have been married, get divorced. It sucks. But you don't want to be in that position where that happens. But there are a lot of college, like, my opinion on colleges is I went to a good school, so they didn't care whether I showed up or not. No, I'm paying to be there. I didn't get graded on attendance. I had a midterm and a final with most of my classes. That was it. Maybe like my math classes and economic classes, I had like a test half a quarter of the way through, a midterm, another test a quarter of the way through, and then a final. But most of my classes was a midterm and a final, or just a final. But I hear all these other if you go in there for like general studies, you're probably going to have a bad time. If you go for like psychology, philosophy, business administration, you're most likely it's not going to apply, and it's only going to work if you go to if you become a professor at the school. The best thing I could say is make sure you get like a STEM degree, like even economics and mathematics. Like, go into those combinations. Accounting's even better because you can go right in and get your CPA after you do your 4 years of
But
your
you know
degree.
what's sad? I've
Go ahead,
seen
Cody.
some I've seen some STEM degree people having a hard time finding jobs.
Yeah, well, it's because the demand's going down. The and a lot of people that are older are not retiring in those areas because they didn't properly save for retirement, so they're working a little longer, and people are living longer. You know, 30, despite what people think, 30 years ago the average age was like 72 for when people passed away. Between 72 and 74. Now we're talking mid 80s, and even though there's a segment of the population that's going backwards, that's getting worse, but most people are living a lot longer than they anticipated, and that's causing a kink in the system. Shout out to Crypto Dream. I married with 3 daughters. Oof, that's a lot of women in that household, but shout out to you, buddy. I didn't have any kids for 1.5 years of marriage. Yeah, that's probably the best thing. I would say if you get married young in like your 20s, probably the best thing to do is just be the be the couple with no kids and disposable income. Save all the money that you can, because when those kids come along, you're going to. I mean, the kids just cost money. You have the maternity visits, the maternity ward costs, all that stuff, and we're just assuming everything goes right. Shout out to Big Jerome, one of our great moderators. Welcome back in. Glad to have you in here. Um, oh, excuse me. So yeah, it's rough if you don't plan, if you got to plan out your life, and if you're trying to start a business and make it that way, do not get in any relationships, because one, you're not going to have your finances are going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, left, right, back and forth. You're going to pay yourself, and they're going to end up giving the money back to your business. You don't want to do that. You want to wait till your business is on good grounds, then get into where you want to go. And like Yaquin said, you want to work on yourself first, especially if a lot of us get out of bad relationships. You don't want to send that right into another relationship, because then it just leads to chaos, which also leads to financial chaos. And then here you are with no money, trying to figure out how to get money quick. And then of course scammers come in, because now you're more susceptible to scammers, and boom, you're now thrown into the bottomless pit, and you can't ever escape it. We don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen for you guys. I want you guys to be able to avoid a lot of those pitfalls, and work towards something better, especially financially, because it's hard once you fall back financially. It's hard to recover. It's very hard to recover, but you can recover. It takes a lot of grit and grind, but you can do it. um but speaking to like back to college degrees, I know we got quite a bit off tangent there, but you don't need to go. You don't. A college degree can help if it's from the right school and it's for a career position that you want, but you don't have to use your college degree to to uh get the position that you want. Like my mother got a degree from Princeton University in history, and then went to go become an accountant. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. Now, she's has a pretty get it done attitude. So as soon as she went there, I mean, she went to work at Roadway as a dock manager for, I think it was like 5 years. Got her CPA, then went to go work for Ernst and Young, then Merrill Lynch, then American Express, and then she became executive vice president of operations for uh, a telecom company. So she was it was like the CEO, and then there was her, like right there, like she didn't her boss was the CEO. And I have to say that was fun because she always came back with a lot of cool perks, especially when she worked in New York City, because she'd come back with a lot of the cool foods from there. But just because you have like a degree in philosophy doesn't mean you can't go have a successful career. But you just have to remember, just because you got the degree does not mean you have to put in the work. And you also have to put in work interviewing. Like, you can't come off as obnoxious, standoffish, arrogant, and you think you know it all. If you're 21, you got your degree and you're working, that's all you are. It's a 21-year-old with a degree. You got to get work experience. Now, the degree normally showed that, hey, I think a little differently. I'm a little more learned, so that's why you're hiring me for this entry level management position. Now you got to work. Now you got to put in the effort. Now you got to put the grit to the grind, the feet to the pavement to make it happen. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying my degree isn't getting nowhere, blah blah blah. But I'm watching their videos that they're posting. It's like, well, no shit. You're arrogant. You're coming off as snobbish. You come off and think you're better than the interviewer. And even your video, I am starting to look saying, hey, I don't like you. I don't want to hire you. And you're coming off as very unprofessional. A lot of that bleeds into your interview, and you don't want to let that bleed in. You want to be successful at it.
I kind
Go
of
ahead, Cody.
I kind of see similarities here. You know how you said like the guy that's like, oh, wants to hire me, but you arrogant, knows more than the interviewer. You know, a lot better as a worker. You know what? It's the same mentality as the people who are bitching about housing prices but won't go for the starter house. Kind of like that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly the same, and that's why we're going to have a housing problem with young people, because they're not understanding that no, you can't go get the $800,000 house. There are houses, there are some, they're not pretty, they're not nice, they're not Instagram worthy, but you know,
But see,
hold on. I think Kevin's, shout out to the late Kevin Samuels, but he was right. Young people now don't even want to entertain the IKEA marriage. And like my parents, that's how my parents started. You start out with nothing and you build to something. That's how my grandparents did. That's how my great grandparents did. That's how every married couple in my dad's side of the family, and even my mom's side of the family, even with all their degeneracy, some of them did take the right path in life. They had nothing when they started. You're not going to have everything when you start, especially if you're both young. You're literally building it up.
well, the problem is I will say it has a lot to do with Generation Z themselves. However, I will add this that Generation Z from the start, you know, was expected to almost be delusional because Gen Z's parents, it's like we were told that, oh, you go to college, you know, you make good grades in high school, you know, you'll go to college with that 4.0 GPA, and then you'll go get a job, you'll make 100 something thousand a year. You work and you save up 5, 6, 7 years, you'll get that $800,000 house. That's what Gen Z, that's the roadmap that we were given. Now that the economy has changed, we've had some mess ups within the Fed printing a lot of money. We've had a lot of mess ups with politics. You know, we were set up with the wrong roadmap. And us Gen
Mm-hmm.
Zers, we get out of college and we're delusional.
Yep. Well, it's just I had a young guy come in here. He said, "Well, he had prior moving experience, worked for one of my competitors, was coming in here asking for $93,000. Like my salespeople don't even make it. The average salesperson makes about 60 to 70 with me, but the highest one to make over 100. I'm not. You're not getting that right out of college with no experience, or it's like I don't even know you or trust you yet." But he didn't like that everybody starts off at the beginning in my company.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the guy who has a college degree, who's 27 and lives at home, and his mom's like, "No, that's not good enough. You went to school for 5 years for that degree. You better be making 100,000 plus a year." It's almost like that person has somebody behind their back saying, "No, you need to make this amount of money because you went to college for X amount of years." It just doesn't work like that. Money and net worth isn't tied to a piece of paper. Like money and net worth is tied to EQ. It's tied to who you are and how you are with other people. Like Kevin Samuels, speaking of Kevin Samuels, he also said this. Shout out to him. He said that nowadays we are in an EQ dominated society. Our society does not care about how smart you are. Society cares about how good you are with people. And it's the same thing with Walmart. It's like you want to go get promoted at Walmart, you want to go to head home office. It's not about how good you work. Now that does have a little bit to play in it, but it matters about how social you are. It matters about company politics. Like a lot of things have to do with politics and how you socialize with people. People put People underestimate EQ, and that's what Kevin Samuel said, and I agree with that. EQ means more than IQ. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It matters about how good you are with people. That's literally all society values.
Exactly. Shout out to George. I think they're going to come out with basic income. Then the young will get lazier. I don't think they'll come out with basic income because that would
I don't
really
think so.
devalue the currency beyond even what wealthy people want. Shout out to Yakploin. Clearing 100K doesn't buy what it used to. No, it does not. Shout out to Wally Newbig. Spot on. He was referring to you, Cody. So yeah, definitely, Cody was pretty spot on with that. Shout out to Crypto Dream. Uh, I remember not having furniture for months when I got my place. I remember living with six other people in a two-bedroom house. Exactly. Exactly. Sometimes you gotta start life off in a not so glamorous way, like your adult life, and that's quite all right. We all had roommates. I had two roommates when I first went to moved out of my parents' place. I had two roommates until I got my own place. Like it's perfectly fine to live that life, but I don't
I
know for
just feel like
no. Go ahead, Cody.
I said I just feel like the playing field is getting leveled. Like there's a lot of levels in the playing field. Like what used to be, for men, it's like for example, dating. Like how you described dating earlier. You were like, oh well, it's like you meet somebody, if you like them, you like spending. I like you like me, and it would go from there. And it would nowadays it's straight to the point. Like the playing field in dating got leveled. It's like nowadays it's not just your Joe Blow and you get all the girls like it was in the
Mm,
80s. Because in the 80s and 90s, I wasn't around, but I heard Joe Blows and all that. It's like being an average man in the 90s versus being an average man nowadays is two different things. So that's what I mean by the playing field has gotten leveled. You have to have a lot more to you. I feel like society is like, yeah, back in the day it was this and this, but now we need more out of you. We need more out of you. Like you got to work harder, or you got to be smarter with your money. It's like society's pretty much just expecting more out of people to get to the next level.
yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, there's a lot being placed on a lot of young guys' shoulders, especially, and a lot being expected of them right out the bat. What I would do, I consider like that would be FUD. Just ignore it and go chase what you want. Now, I did get a lot of I had a lot of high paying positions, but when I started like at Wawa, I was like like that was right after my banking stint, and the economy wasn't so good. I was making $10 an hour. I went from a lot of money to $10 an hour, but what I did was I took everything I learned and saying, okay, how am I going to make this better? And I was working for $10 an hour, buttering rolls, making coffee, cooking bread, cooking all the breakfast food to prep for the morning rush. We're writing off newspaper as well as mopping and cleaning the floors and stocking the cooler and everything. And I just found a way to make that profitable for my boss. So when I made my boss money, made my bosses look good. When I made my direct bosses look good, and made my overall boss money, then I got promoted within like 3 months. It was pretty easy. And then I got like a $2.50 raise, and then like a year later, I got another $2.50 raise. And then I was able to, once the economy kind of got back on its feet around 2009, going in, yeah, well, 2008 going into 2009, I went to go work at Radio Shack, and then I went from store manager, district manager, regional area division vice president, and it was just went from there. Shout out to Yak Loin, mid 90s, 20K a year felt easier to survive than average pay now. Yeah, average pay now is about average pay in Arkansas is about 28,000 right now, just overall, not giving industries into account. Just overall, it's about 20. I think it's like 28,500 something, and it is tough. It's doable, but it's doable as being by yourself. It's not doable if you have kids or anything. Shout out to Wally Newbig. Go to work, do your job the best you can, and get paid. These kids are nuts nowadays. These kids are nuts these days. Yeah, I mean, I had a 22-year-old come into my work, started in February, worked till July, and then thought he knew how to run a moving company. It's like you have no idea how to do this job. You have no idea how to even do your job. And you
Yeah.
don't even know how to run a business, let alone and all that trash talking, all that stuff, and now in this area, McDonald's went back to minimum wage, and now he's working at McDonald's and crying. Were you about to say something, Cody?
Oh yeah, I was just about to say, that'd be like me having that attitude. Like I've never had that attitude. It's like I'm an ambitious person. I'm a go getter, but at the same time, it's like, how could you? I mean, then again, it's age. 22. That has a lot to do with it. I'm 23. I'm not even that much older, but it's like, that has to do with it because it's like these kids almost like pay attention to these entrepreneurs, and they should pay attention to entrepreneurs. The problem is, it's if it's how they view it. It's almost like this kid was trying to be like Warren Buffett, like, oh, I'm going to work for a moving company for 6 to 7 months. I got the answers, and now I can start my own business. It's like that's delusional thinking. If you don't actually learn how to operate a business, like you're an experienced person in finance and business. I'm sure when you started your company, you weren't flawless. You were going through a lot of roadmaps that kid probably doesn't even have the life experience to handle.
No, nor the patience. And there's plenty of life lessons I learned along the way in running a moving company, and then trying to expand it, grow it. And every time I turned around, there was like a new tax I had to pay or something like that. So yeah, I've definitely went through the ringer with it. But the funny thing is, they went with four other guys that worked for me, started their own moving company, and then went bust in 2 months during the busy season, which was crazy. You should have been raking in money hand over foot, but they were gone
Yes.
by like I think they started in July and they were gone by the end of August.
Crypto Dream said, "What's the subject of this live so I can have questions that reflect what we are focused on?" We're just talking about business and overall finance and how society is. It's not so much directed towards crypto like we have been doing. This stream, we're just talking about like money and just overall success. And what we're talking about as far as like how people think, that goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about updating on the FTX scandal and the Pina DJ Envy real estate fraud, and just like the hard wallets. But it's stuff we cover kind of every day too. And now we just kind of went off topic onto talking about being successful, getting your stuff together, avoiding some financial pitfalls. because we don't talk about it enough. Nobody talks about the hardships. Like a lot of, I'm seeing the new wave of the gurus coming in, and they're saying like you got to do this, you got to do this. Trust me, those guys that are pitching all that stuff aren't doing it. What they're doing is selling you a dream, and that's how they're making money.
I got a question. Have you heard of Ryan Pineda?
The name sounds familiar.
He's a big real estate guy, and he seems legit. Like he shows his winnings. He has a Porsche. He has a lot of real estate property. He says like he has millions of dollars in real estate. Ryan Pineda, he basically makes a lot of videos on real estate. However, it's like people who seem even the utmost legit. I'm talking like not even verified blue check. I'm talking about that actually has a portfolio. Like I feel like even some of those people who do appear as everything legit, no sketchy stuff. Those people still are doing shady stuff. I feel like.
Yeah, I think some of them are still doing crazy amounts of
Like,
shady
look into
things.
Ryan Pineda and give me. I kind of want to see like what you think about him some other time whenever you can. But he's a big real estate guy. I've always liked watching his content, but I always question at the same time. It's like you never know. These people could just literally be just living that lifestyle of being on social media and just coming off as the guy who knows it all.
Well, like I said, this is a big shakeout. So I'm already seeing it in the red pill space on YouTube, where people like a lot of those creators are they're losing money, but I'll have to look into them. Shout out to Yakloin. Who do you guys use as a brokerage trading calls and puts, shorts and long? I use TD Ameritrade. That's what I use.
Crypto Dream, he said after getting denied for a promotion, a few people say I should quit. I don't know why, but I'm just working harder. Yeah, do what you got to do, but overall, getting like I said earlier, getting a promotion isn't necessarily about working hard. Like the thing they don't tell you is yes, you should work hard. Like focus on working hard, like do a good job, but at the same time, management doesn't go out and say who's the hardest worker, you're going to run my company. No, they don't think that. They're like, who is capable to deal with business partners, who is capable of networking, who is capable of dealing with people every day and bettering their lives, which aligns with our company. That's what they're focused on.
Yeah, and also the one who solves the most problems and doesn't cause the most problems is probably going to get promoted. Definitely don't listen to those people, because when they say you should quit, they're thinking off of their feelings. And when you look, a lot of them probably not in great financial shape. And you have 3 kids and a wife. Like you can't just up and quit because they didn't give me the promotion, so I'm quitting. You only hurt yourself. You don't hurt the
They're
company.
just
The company keeps
projecting.
going.
They're literally just
Yeah,
projecting what their mom and father would tell them. Like, oh, you didn't get that promotion? Just find another job, honey. Just quit. Screw them. Like, no, that's not how life
exactly.
works.
No, you don't want to do that. My best advice for your crypto dream is go up there and just go to your boss and say, "Hey, I know I didn't get the position. I'm not mad at it, but what do you think I can do to improve so that way I could be ready for the next opportunity?" That's how I've always presented. If I never got promoted, I went to my boss and said, "Hey, I'm looking to be a district manager. I didn't get it this time, and I'm not upset about it. But what do you think I could do that could better my chances, or what do I need to improve on?" And I don't just ask it of my boss; I ask it of my coworkers. And if you're already in a management position, I ask it of the people that work for me. What is it that you think I can do better? What is it that you think I can do good? You know.
And it comes across, and it's also about how you say it too. You don't want to like after you're watching this live, go up to your boss and you kind of seem nervous because when you seem nervous, they feel like okay, he's nervous about asking me for a promotion. Does he feel like he doesn't deserve it? It's like people think like that. It's like you can't necessarily come off across awkward or nervous or anything. You got to kind of be like, hey man, like Sal said, you got to literally sound like this, like, hey man, listen, I know I didn't get promoted. I'm not upset about it, like what Sal said. But is there any what do you think that I could do that'll make me, more coachable to where I can get there? Or what do you guys think that would make me more come across as a management? It's like, yeah, it comes across pretty much how you say it.
Yeah. And Crypto Dream, those the 1 minute series that I recommend is excellent for time management and learning how to be a manager. And then you can take that understanding and then kind of manage like lead from behind, where you can help your boss do their work better, take close out things a little easier, like close out tasks a little bit easier, improve your team's efficiency, improve your own efficiency, find out what your strengths of in the job or what you're really good at and what you're lacking. And a lot of times what a lot of people don't understand is when you're trying to get a promotion at a job, you also need to understand that your bosses might be talking to your coworkers, and that might be hindering you too. Because if they don't believe you'll be a good leader, then you're probably not going to get the promotion.
He said most of them react like I'm not confident in myself when I ask. I talk to my boss and my boss's boss. My bosses seem to be working with me.
Well, it's also because my impression of you, Crypto Dream, is you don't sound like the guy that wants to like rock the boat a little bit. But what you're doing is not rocking the boat. What you're doing is trying to get helpful feedback so you can help them. How you can help yourself be better while helping the company become better because of you're enhancing your skills. Um, Shout out to Wally Newberg. What's that you said about time management? Read what? 1 minute manager series. It's a great book series. There's a lot. I think there's like 10 books in the series, and it's definitely helped me with time management, running businesses, running teams, getting stuff done, learning how to manage tasks in an efficient way so that I was always done all my work before the end of the day. It's definitely a good book to read. They're kind of corny in the narrative in the books, but it gets the message across. Also, if you guys are in the service industry or retail, definitely read Raving Fans. That's a that is a book I read like 20 years ago, and I always reread it every couple years because it can help you build your business. It can help you build your retail management mindset, service management mindset, leading a sales team. It could help in a lot of areas, and with also handling negative customer interactions like a return, a complaint, a claim, whatever it is. So I hope that answer that helps you guys out there. You can definitely message me if you like on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. I'll try to get to you. I don't really check those a lot, but I kind of check them like every now and then to try to get back to you guys. But a lot of what we just talked about, what we do every Thursday on the Patreon live for you guys. Shout out to Crypto Dream. He says it's a great book series. I think he's reading one of it. I had the books here somewhere. I'd be happy to mail them out to somebody because I don't read or use them anymore. I have to find them. I had a whole book. So I also had another good book. Now that I think about it, I read it like 7 years ago, and it was about how to avoid icebergs in running your business or leading your team. It was a long read. It was like 200 pages, a very boring dialogue, but it definitely helped me with those. I shot Crypto Dream, read two of them. Yeah, they're pretty fast reads. They're like 70 pages. I wouldn't even waste money on the hard copy. Just go get the digital versions. Shout out to Yakloin. I don't respond to DM usually because mostly people are trying to sell me something. Yeah, that's true too, especially when you have a business. But you got to give it to them. They're trying to earn money too, and they're trying to sell a service, sell a system, a new CRM, getting better 5-star reviews, all that stuff, getting better online presence. Because when the economy dips, they're the first ones to hit, saying, "Hey, you got to spend more money." And I think that's the worst thing you can do when the economy dips. The best thing you can do running a business is find free ways to expand your business, and expand and get more clientele in. Shout out to Jacqueline. I respect her hustle. I'm just concentrating on my wealth management. Yeah, there you go. It's like all we can do now is concentrate on managing the wealth that we create and investing it wisely. Looks like we've been on for an hour and a half. Oh, it's already 9 o'clock. I gotta get going so I can get back here early in the morning. Guess we're gonna take some final thoughts here. See, I think we got quite a bit of answers from everybody. Oh wow, man, decent amount of
I,
people. Yeah.
at this point in my life, I'm just trying to focus on maintaining, and what I mean by maintaining is keep doing what I'm doing, working, keep investing, keep consistently putting in my portfolio every 2 weeks, and just
Hmm.
it's like, man, it's like and just overall not caring about what people think about me, because there's so many women who ask me why I don't have a car, who ask me this and that, or like there's so many people who will try to make you feel uncomfortable and shit, and it's like I just have to kind of ignore it and just keep pushing, because I mean I overall know where I'm going. It's just people are just so fed up with what's going on right now. It's like I'm not necessarily worried about what's going on right now. Like, I'm young. If I was a lot older, like if I was in my 30s, I would be caring and talking about right now, but I'm 23. It's like I have no student loan debt. It's like I have no kids. It's not I don't have a baby mother, I'm not in a serious relationship, so it's like I have nothing holding me back.
Yeah, and you want to be in Cody's position, and you can still go to college. I went to college, but I have to say this: I went to college when student loan interest was 0% for me, and I had a lot of grants to the college I went to, so I didn't end up owing as much money as a lot of other people did. But I was still able to pay it off before I left my 20s. But I will say this: is that you success is a very boring thing, and you can't get mad at anyone for not seeing it in you, because it's going to make very subtle changes in your life, and you're not going to notice them. No one's going to notice them. It's just going to be like one brick a day laid down. You're laying down your foundation, and to get to the a millionaire status, you got to lay down a pretty big foundation. So it's going to look like nothing is being done, but trust me, it's going to feel like overnight success when everything comes together, because all of a sudden, all the hard work, all the due diligence, all the effort and sweat that you put into building yourself up, building your mind, building your business, building your finances, building your understanding of everything, it's all going to come together, and it's just going to happen like that. Shout out to Crypto Dream. Read a Marcus Aurelius book, and shouldn't let people redirect you from your mission. Yeah. Don't let anyone else change where you want to be in life. Only let yourself change where you want to be, and only if you think it's the right call for you. Don't let someone
Exactly.
else say, I don't think you should do that, because everyone else, they'll root for your success, but on the same coin, they're wishing for your failure. Just remember that. People root for your success, but they're wishing for your failure. And
Exactly.
everybody loves to see a downfall. They love it. Don't let it happen. Don't listen to them. And also, misery loves company, because if they're having a rough time with their life, odds are they want you to have a rough time, because it makes them feel better about the
Yeah.
decisions they made in life.
No, that's how it is. Like, I've been around people who, talk down on the type of things I'm into, and when I've posted on social media about what I'm into or talk about it, it's like I can tell they get really uncomfortable, or it's like one person told me, like, there's more to life than money, and I agree. But just because I'm focused on getting money in my early 20s, that doesn't mean that I'm some evil person who's materialistic and only thinks about power and corruption and greed. It's like people are just so black and white on that type of stuff.
Yeah. And you just gotta let that roll off of you. And don't let the shit talking get to you when the success finally manifests in your life and you can get the things you want. You're not as stressed in your life. Don't let that affect you. Don't let it affect you. Understand that it is what it is, and people are just going to be upset with it, and you can't let other people's emotions dictate your life. I think that's where
Exactly.
we're going to leave this stream on. So it's been a pleasure, you guys. I definitely enjoyed chatting with you guys. Definitely enjoyed answering some of your guys' questions. So hopefully, we get more of you guys in here. Hopefully, I know that when we start getting to the holidays, people start forgetting about finance, and this is going to be the dry time for finance channels. So, but we appreciate all the support and everything that you guys do, just listening in, and we appreciate all your answers. So, thank you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Shout out to Yakloin. When you find those negative people, distance yourself from them. Yeah, that's all you can do is just say, right, thank you. And if they don't align with you, then let them go. But with that said, guys, I'm going to call it a night. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for morning market news, and wish you guys the best tonight. Hopefully you guys learn. Take me up on reading those books. They're pretty cheap. I'm no way paid for that, but they're just things that I've read that I think you guys should read. But thank you guys, and we're gonna call it a day. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. So keep chasing that bag.